You are listening to On the Pond with your host, Adam Steer.
How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the second episode of On the Pond with your host, Adam Steer. With me here this week is Andrew Nielsen, co-founder of the Hockey Duo blog, which was a blog that the two of us created last year to discuss the upcoming 2018 NHL draft as well as free agency. Andrew, why don't you introduce yourself to the viewers?
My name is Andrew Nielsen. I'm from Vancouver, British Columbia. Go to Brock University, fourth year sport management. Not a big deal. My favorite hockey team is the Vancouver Canucks. I'm a hometown guy, but my second favorite team is the Washington Capitals.
All right, there we go. Love it, love it. So basically a rundown for this week. Before we get into the main topic of the week, we will be discussing the recent news from this past week, such as trades, including Derek Brassard, Brian Boyle, as well as, I'm sorry, Andrew, looking at the Austin Matthews signing. Yes, we are talking about that. After, we will discuss the main topic of the week, which is looking at the contending teams in the NHL right now and figuring out what their biggest team needs are heading into the deadline. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. The Pittsburgh Penguins have made another move. Jimmy Money Rutherford has acquired Nick Bjugstad and Jared McCann from the Florida Panthers in exchange for Derek Brassard, Riley Sheahan, a 2019 second-round pick, and 2 fourth-round picks in 2019. So, Andrew, what are your thoughts on this deal? Who wins?
It's a tough deal because I think both teams kind of came out with the win-win outcome. You know, the Panthers got three picks in the 2019 NHL entry draft. You know, fourth-round picks these days, it's not like a couple years back where later picks didn't matter. Now today, it's like you can get a good player in the fourth round or fifth round anyways.
Oh, yeah, big time.
You know, there's a lot of development, and a lot of teams look into the attitude of players now, and I think they really did a good job getting the picks. I think they could have gotten more out of Nick Bjugstad, though. Derek Brassard and just Riley Sheahan. Derek Brassard's like definitely a high third-line centerman. Mm-hmm. Riley Sheahan, a fourth-line center.
I agree with that.
But they got Jared McCann, too, who he was amazing in junior, drafted by the Canucks.
As a Canucks fan, you would know more about McCann than I would.
In 2015, he has a hell of a shot, but I think, in Florida, they had so much center depth, like Barkov, Bjugstad, Trocheck.
And now the rise of the likes of Henrik Borgstrom coming in and making impact. So
it's, Jared McCann might flourish, but, he's still behind Evgeny Malkin and Sidney Crosby, and I think he's just going to be a bottom six forward for the rest of his career. Because his attitude's been an issue in the league. Like, the only reason the Canucks picked him was because he had Kessler-like shot. Yeah. That was it. And we just traded for Kessler for that draft pick from the Anaheim Ducks. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I think they both win, but this is Pittsburgh trying to win now because Nick Bjugstad is a solid second-line center. He has high potential. I think he's 27.
He's 26. Yeah, 26, 27.
So
he's pretty young.
He's pretty young, and his potential's still there. But it really just depends on how they approach it because he has a big cap too.
Yeah,
he's around the $4 to $5 million.
Yeah, he's at 4.1. He's at 4.1, I believe, for another 2 years after this one. But yeah, no, that's awesome. I think Pittsburgh wins the deal slightly. I'm a big value guy, so to me, Derek Brassard, an expiring contract, you're kind of shipping him out for guys with term. That's kind of the way I see it, which I like. Always into the value aspect of it, but I also do like it from Pittsburgh's angle because they do clear cap space and they are making room for Panarin and Bobrovsky. Now, I don't get why people are saying they're going to trade for Panarin now.
There's no way
they're bottom 8 in the league. They're going to have to give up their first round pick. And why on earth would you give up your first round pick?
They need goaltending so badly. James Reimer has been inconsistent.
Extremely.
Roberto Luongo, one of the greatest of all time to play in the net. But he is old, and that groin just keeps tearing apart.
Oh, my God.
It's true.
It is true.
I swear to God, every month this guy gets a groin injury, and I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's so good, and I feel so bad because he has a decent team in front of him for the first time since maybe 2012, 2013 when the Canucks played.
In the play, yeah.
And now it's he's 40, 41.
Yeah, he's getting up there in age.
Oh man, I don't know. I think Florida's probably gonna flip Derek Brassard.
I can't see them. The second I heard that trade, I'm like,
Yeah,
Derek Brassard's got to move
They
somewhere.
have to trade him. They're definitely loading up on picks. They're loading up on picks to trade for Bobrovsky.
Yeah,
I think James Reimer will probably be part of that deal.
I think he'd have to be because you can't have Luongo with his contract and Reimer on his contract and Bobrovsky at $6-7 million a year. That's just way too much to spend on goaltending. Does someone get bought out? Maybe, I don't know, but Florida at the end of the day, Florida is clearing cap space for the long term, which I do like. The one thing on Pittsburgh's angle, which I don't love about this trade, I do think they do well, but the one thing I don't like is that they're starting to add cap space, or they're starting to decrease their cap space, sorry.
Yeah.
They traded for the likes of Tanner Pearson, and then they trade for Nick Bukestad.
Mm-hmm.
They signed Jack Johnson. So, like, they're starting – I know. So, they're starting to – and Patrick Hornquist still on contract. They just paid Jake Gensel. So, like, they're paying a lot of money to a lot of guys. So, I don't know how that's going to work out with the cap in a couple of years when, when some of these guys are going to be up. It's going to be interesting for sure, but I definitely think that Pittsburgh came on top here. But I don't think Florida did as bad as people said.
Yeah.
All right, next trade. Brian Boyle to Nashville for a second-round pick. Now, is this too much for the Predators to give up for pretty much a fourth-line center?
To be honest, I don't think it is with the situation they're in. I think in the future, people who are diehard hockey fans of the Nashville Predators will be like, damn, that was a terrible trade. Just like when Nashville traded Martin Erat for Philip Forsberg.
Yep.
What a steal that was. At the time, it looked like a good pick or a good trade because, Martin Erat, second-line center. Washington's trying to win the cup. This is when Washington was a wagon.
Yeah,
they were unreal. Alexander Semin.
They were nasty.
And then they just messed it up by trading Philip Forsberg, who's one of the best snipers in the league now.
What a trade.
So, it could go bad because we don't know what the second-round draft pick's going to be.
Yeah.
Or where it's going to be. It could be an early third-round pick, to be honest. Because when you look at a draft, it's like you're drafting late in the first round. It's basically
if Nashville wins the cup, it's going to be the 62nd overall pick. So then it's like, well, pretty much thanks to Vegas, now you're picking. Yeah. Last pick is basically the next round. So
exactly. So I think it's a good win. I think Brian Boyle gives them that really strong depth and size they need to win in the West. The Western Conference is so much different than the Eastern Conference because the West has so much more bigger bodies.
Yeah.
Guys,
you look at Winnipeg
that just body each other in the boards. They're all big, heavy teams. Mm-hmm. Compared to the East is full of skill. Austin Matthews, Steven Stamkos, Nikita Kucherov, Sidney Crosby,
but now you're seeing
Alex Ovechkin. It's crazy.
But now you're seeing skill kind of taking over. Look at the Eastern Conference and how teams like Montreal now are using their skill, right? So you're seeing how teams that try to go heavier might not be doing as well. So you look at Montreal and they're they're not a big team, small skilled team. They beat Winnipeg 5-2 last night. Mm-hmm. Holy Philip Danault, Jesperi Kotkaniemi. Wow, what skilled guys.
Jesperi Kotkaniemi skilled.
He's going to be a good player, I think. One day.
Dirty.
Anyway, so I was a little surprised they gave up the second-round pick because I don't think it fills a huge team need. I think you can never have enough center depth. Yeah. But when I'm looking at Nashville, when I think of centers before the trade, I think of Ryan Johansson, Kyle Turris, Colton Sissons, maybe Calle Yarncrocker, Nick Bonino.
Yeah.
Kind of those guys they have up the middle. This wasn't a huge need. Personally, if I were Nashville and David Poile, I would have looked to shop the second-round pick in a package to acquire a top six forward, like an Artemi Panarin or even a Matt Zuccarello who's starting to heat up.
Or Wayne Simmons.
Wayne
like
Simmons
you said,
heavy hockey.
With Peter Laviolette, his former coach in Philadelphia,
knows how to work him.
Would be unreal. Because, Scotty Hartnell at his prime played so well under Laviolette.
Oh, there's no doubt. He was unbelievable.
And then he went back to Nashville. He signed a 2-year deal with Nashville a couple years back when Peter Laviolette was a coach, and he played unreal. He played terribly in Columbus.
Yeah.
With Torts. Or who was it? I can't remember.
Who plays well with Torts?
That's a good point. Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
I think that they still need to address their need, which is a top six forward. When I think of Nashville and I think of their Game 7 last year, they scored one goal in Game 7. Their offense was marginal. Yeah. So I think that they need to add that big game player. And the problem is now if they go for an Artemi Panarin or Wayne Simmons, they're gonna have to give up their first round pick.
Yeah.
So now if you're Nashville, you're looking at losing your first round pick and your second round pick in this year's draft. Pretty much your two best picks. I mean,
Yeah.
how like
That's
you
so
got
true.
to bank on drafting a stud
But
in the third round.
you know David Poyle, like he is the man when it comes to drafting. That guy is a god.
He's just gonna pick another defenseman.
Oh, yeah. But I mean, I think I look at it this way, like when the Canucks, I'm gonna bring up a lot of Canucks references in the podcast. Sorry, guys. Back in 2011, when the Canucks were gonna make that push for the Stanley Cup, they traded for Max Lapierre and Chris Higgins, and everyone was like, why didn't they go for a top 6 forward? But they went with guys who had grit and speed, which, like we're just about to talk about the McLeod trade. They reacquired McLeod and Boyle.
Yeah.
And I know people say, why do they need that? They don't need that. But when the playoffs come, especially in the Western Conference, injuries are so huge.
Yeah.
And if you have those guys or like your smaller guys coming back or having those depth guys in the lineup, man, like the possibilities to win are so much higher now.
You don't
have that AHL guy coming and playing his first playoff game screwing up. Instead, you got two veterans who know how to get the team jacked up.
Who've been there before and
who
have
hit
done
and
it.
they can shoot and score.
Look at Rafi Torres,
yeah,
right?
exactly.
Rafi
Rafi Torres signed a nice little 1-year deal with the Canucks, and he was unreal. Derek Dorsett, not a great signing by the Canucks, I think, but he still brought the hits and he scored a lot of goals in his last year before he got that neck injury.
I'd like to say Rafi Torres ended his year as a Leaf, ended his career as a Leaf. So what a stud. But yeah, no, the McLeod trade is interesting because they don't acquire skill. They acquire big physical presence. So if you think they're gonna get Wayne Simmons to do that, they're looking like a really heavy team now.
Yeah, they're ready to beat Winnipeg. Winnipeg beat them in that. That's what won that series. They were so compared equally on offense, defense, and goaltending, except physicality. Physicality, Winnipeg clearly won. It was insane how easily they won that.
And look at Mark Scheifele and Paul Stastny, right? Those guys dominated up the middle. That's why you need that center depth. But yeah, no. Definitely interesting trades. We'll see how they pan out. Next, Andrew, I want to ask you. I'm sorry, I gotta do this to you. I'm really sorry, but what do you think about the Austin Matthews signing? For those of you who don't know, Austin Matthews signed a 5-year deal with an average annual cap hit of $11.634 million. I do not believe that 3-4 at the end of it was a coincidence. I think he did that intentionally. But Andrew, what are your thoughts on the signing?
Well, I think it's actually kind of a win for Matthews because we see like a guy like McKinnon making $6.5 million. Yeah,
I think he's at 6.1. He's at 6.1.
Yeah, it's around there, and you look at you just look at that deal, and it's like only 5 years. So he's thinking, once I turn 26, he's 21 right now.
Yeah,
right?
he's 21.
Once he turns 26 in his last year of being a restricted free agent, depending on his birthday,
September 17th.
So, okay,
I'm a big.
Yeah, you know.
Big Matthews. Yeah. So the thing is with Matthews is he can walk right into unrestricted free agency after his contract.
Oh, he can.
Yeah,
he
can.
So he can. Oh, okay. So the thing, like, that puts a whole new perspective.
Arizona sitting there with a little time clock saying Matthews is an unrestricted free agent in 5 years, 4 days.
Exactly. I think it's a good deal, but I'm worried about Toronto for the next couple of years because they've got a lot of money tied into a lot of players. Mitch Marner's an RFA at the end of the season.
Yes.
He's going to be asking for $10 to $11 million.
I think
he deserves $11 million, I think. Clearly,
based on his play.
I think he's the best player in the Maple Leafs.
Whoa!
I'm just saying that right now.
I don't know if I can argue with you right now. He's killing it.
He is an unreal playmaker, and 2, he's got a hell of a shot.
He's got an underrated. I would say it's an underrated shot. Mitchie doesn't like to shoot sometimes.
Yeah, he doesn't shoot,
but when he does, he can go. And I think he's starting to develop, that confidence in his shot more.
Yeah, and he should because he kind of reminds me of Patrick Kane. I was watching the game last night, and like my roommate, diehard Leafs fan, like you, he loves him. And when I watch Mitch Marner play, it's like
this guy's special.
Oh my god, like this guy can skate, he can shoot the puck. He's unreal, even though he's undersized. But Patrick Kane was undersized when he got in the league. And he excelled.
Look what
because
happens.
He was so fast.
Yeah.
And he still is that amazing player. He was unreal. The Canucks played Blackhawks last night.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I was pissed. But you know what? It was a good game regardless. But talking about the Maple Leafs salary cap, it's like $11.6 million for Austin Matthews. Mm-hmm. Let's just round it up.
Yeah,
$11 million for Tavares.
Yes.
Mitch Marner's probably getting the $10 to $11 million.
I have him slotted. So I have him projected at $10 million.
Now you're at 33 point.
Plus Nylander is pretty much $40 million for 4 players.
3.8.
Yeah, whatever the number is.
And then Nylander's at like $6.9 million AAV. So that's over $40 million tied for 4 players. Yeah. And I know the cap's supposed to go up to $86 million.
Yeah, okay. So I'm confused because Gary Bettman said that in Sportsnet said it would be 83, but now TSN said 86. So I don't, or 85. So I don't know.
TSN must be gaining revenue statistics from teams and their ticket sales.
I mean, they have to be.
Gary Bettman said that the only reason it went up is because teams like Buffalo are selling more tickets this year because they're actually playing.
Exactly.
And the Canucks too, actually. Literally, I think the Canucks have the worst fan atmosphere ever. I'm going to say that right now. It's actually sad. I see other teams, fans, oh my God, way better.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
that is fair. That is fair.
Toronto's in a pickle, I think. I mean, they've got young guys still, but those guys are going to get paid. Connor Brown's at
2.1, yeah.
Yeah, they're gonna ask for $3 to $4 million because you look seriously.
Don't do this to me.
I'm being dead serious. Jay Beagle, I was watching the Canucks game,
but that was a bad signing.
No, Jay Beagle's a good depth center. You need that guy to block shots, and he blocks shots, even for a team that loses like the Canucks. Trust me.
$4 million. This guy, $3 million for a fourth-line center.
$3 million for 3 years. I think that's a good deal. Because the one deal I don't like, actually 2 deals I don't like. Sutter and Branson.
Enough for your Canucks.
Yeah. Okay.
Enough. We're getting off the rail. The Canucks.
Seriously, teams are gonna give this guy $3 million plus. Connor Brown.
Connor Brown's at 2.1.
Yeah,
Connor Brown's at 2.1.
They're gonna ask for that more money in the future because the market's just gonna grow. Like my Nathan McKinnon comparison. Nathan McKinnon could be easily making more than that.
McKinnon should be making double his salary. Realistically, looking at
because he signed that contract, for long term. I can't remember how.
He has 5 or 6 more years left. It's ridiculous.
He got him for a steal because the cap's just going it's shooting up. And Austin Matthews is thinking smart because he's like, hey, I can get $11.6 million for just 5 years.
Think of how much he's gonna make in 5 years. I don't even know.
5 years. I don't know, 15 million, 16 million, something like that, depending on how the CBA goes out after this season.
It'll be interesting to see how it works. I mean, personally for me, I like the deal. I like the deal because I like the deal. I don't mind the 5 years, but would I like 6 or maybe more? Yes, but I'd rather Matthews making 11.6 now for 5 years, considering it's not going to kill us on the cap. And another thing with the Matthews signing is he avoids going to July 1st unsigned, and there is no chance I'm leaving him unsigned July 1st when someone's ready to offer sheet him. What if someone offer sheets him 7 years, $15 million? What if Arizona wanted him? The Leafs would have to match, but they would kill them on the cap.
Well, you don't have to worry about that Marner because his agent and him literally said they want to be Maple Leaf for life.
Marner's like, I don't want to talk about it much, and then Darren Ferris is like,
we're gonna be Maple Leafs forever.
he's like, we're not gonna talk about it, and now Matthews gets signed, and that's all. Now the guy just keeps talking, doesn't stop talking. Yeah. But no, I like the signing. I think it's gonna. I think everything's gonna be fine. Personally, I think everything's gonna work out. I think Janssen can make around the $2-ish million range potentially because he still is an unproven player. Cap, I think, could make maybe $3.5 million. I mean, yes, he is playing well, but again,
I don't think he's worth that money.
First year playing, I pay Cap $3 million. You're telling me you wouldn't pay Cap $3 million?
You tender his offer and you take an arbitration.
Yeah, that's.
I'd say that. That's the best way to go.
I mean, he could get offer sheeted too, right? What if someone offer sheets him and I'm like, you know what?
Because he put up 40 points, right?
He's on pace for he's on pace for close to 50 points.
Yeah, so he's probably going to be asking for $3 million.
I think so.
And but our arbitration will probably say that's only your first year, full hockey. So we're going to give you half of that.
It'll be interesting
to
see.
And that will be a steal for Dubas.
It'll be interesting to see how it works out.
Brock alum, not a big deal.
Brock alum represent Kyle Dubas. That Marleau contract was killer. The second he signed it, I said that third year is going to be that's going to be the Achilles heel of this team. Because
If only in the NHL you could have opt-out.
I know, if only. But,
If
you know,
only
that's
you
kind
could
of what I
opt
like.
out of a
It's kind of what I,
contract like the NBA.
it's kind of what I like about the NHL, though. I mean,
that's true. But
I mean, personally, I
for,
do.
For your Maple Leaf instance, it would be great to opt out of that.
Oh my god!
last
You know how many
year,
$6
$6
contracts
million.
we would have opted out? I would have opted. I would have opted out of Nikita Zaitsev $4.5 million.
That's the
3
worst.
days after he signed the contract. Seriously, the guy comes from Russia, plays 1 year. He was decent his first year, not amazing, but he was okay. And then Lou is basically like, here, Kyle, when I'm gone, you're gonna have to deal with this contract. In a sense,
Don't forget about Lou Lamoriello's contract to Kovalchuk.
yeah, Kovalchuk.
Back in like 2009.
And then
or
Lou goes on the
Yeah.
island. What does he do? Trades for Matt Martin and signs Leo Komarov for $3 million for 4 years.
It
Really?
seems to be working.
It's-
The Islanders are
I-
first.
I don't
right?
get it. They're up there. And
They're first in the Metropolitan Division, which
Yeah.
is unbelievable. But they also have an unreal coach, Barry Trotz.
There too.
Stanley Cup champion. not a
Yeah,
big deal.
he honestly Barry Trotz having that veteran coach who's done it before, been there, done that kind of thing is very important for a young Islanders team, I would say too. But yeah, overall, I do like the Matthews contract. I do think everything in the end is going to work out. At the end of the day, people are saying, "Oh, Leafs won't have the cap. Leafs won't have the cap."
Yeah.
I don't care.
Like
the
me.
Leafs have unbelievable players. I would
do.
rather be in the Leafs position than the majority of teams in the NHL because I want to be in Arizona who struggles to find good assets. No offense.
Yeah.
But like you look at Toronto, they've got stud. They got Jake Muzzin for another year after this at $4 million, which is huge.
Yeah.
Anyway, so just finished discussing the Matthews signing and the other trades. Now I want to shift focus to the contending teams and what we think their biggest needs are at the deadline. So, Andrew, we're going to start off with the Tampa Bay Lightning. What do you think their biggest team need is? And I will share with you mine after.
It's difficult. I think
They're so good, man.
They're so good. Like their bottom six is unreal.
One of the best in the league.
I
I'd argue.
can't even really think what they need, but I think just like depth, like Nashville, just
Yeah.
trade some picks. I mean, Stevie Yzerman wasn't huge on trading picks.
No, he wasn't.
But
No, Stevie
now
Y
they
was.
got-
Stevie Y was good on trading back into the
Yeah,
draft, collecting more
exactly.
assets. He did that. He did
He's-
that a few years with.
Their scouting is unreal, but I think they trade some picks this year because.
But they don't have their first. They don't have their first round pick. It's the problem is Tampa.
Doesn't
Tampa
matter.
kind of. But Tampa. I'm just saying though. Tampa kind of hurt themselves because they can't trade their
They
first
did.
round pick because they don't know what. They don't know what's going to happen because
Yeah.
if they win the cup, they don't have it. But if they don't win the cup, then they do have it. So do they make a trade with a condition on that pick, saying if they win the cup, obviously, we'll give you a second and something, or if we don't win the cup, then. I mean, but that would be hard to say. I don't know if I would do that because.
I think teams will use the cup as like a conditional.
Yeah, but
So
why?
it's good, but that's the ultimate reason you're making that trade.
Yeah.
in the
So
first
why
place.
would? Yeah. So I'm thinking why would he?
I think they try to take a shot at Simmons, but I like
There's
the
just too
way
many
the
bodies.
the way the Flyers are trending right now. It's like, do they really want to trade
What do they
Wayne
do?
Simmons? Because they've won 8
I
in a
heard
row.
that he might be getting a contract extension.
Yeah, he might, but he's probably asking for a lot of money.
Personally, I wouldn't pay it because
Yeah, me neither.
He's a
30.
big heavy player, guy that plays a lot of minutes. He's played
Yeah.
for a long time at that cheap deal, and I feel like he's gonna want that money because he deserves it. He's taking a discount for so long. He could be easily making 5.5 million, but now
6
someone's
million
gonna
even
say,
now
yeah,
with
maybe
the market like
maybe,
this.
but now you're gonna pay a 30-year-old for what, like $6 million for 6 years. You're gonna be regretting that contract after year 3. It's gonna. It's going to come back to bite him, I think.
Fletcher's got a problem on his hands on that. But I
Yeah.
think Tampa Bay, like the best way to look at it is Tampa Bay trades for depth.
Yeah.
They've got good prospects in the AHL,
Mm-hmm.
but I can't think of any real depth guys. Like a good third line center would be great.
Yeah, I mean,
addition.
but Anthony
like someone
Cirelli-
who's fast.
See,
and-
I'm a big Anthony Cirelli fan, and I think he's perfect on that third line.
he's good, but I think, like I said earlier, when the playoffs come, you want to have all those guys available to you.
Yeah.
So you can switch lineups. If it's not working out, switch it up. Because
Mm-hmm.
that's what has happened to Tampa Bay consistently since, 2015?
Yeah, they've been
When-
Tampa
when
Bay's
they
been
lost to
Tampa Bay.
Chicago?
Tampa Bay's been one of the most consistent teams.
3 years or 4 years now where they've made it to the conference final or they made
They
it
made
to
it
the second round.
three of the 4 years
Or
because
Stanley Cup
in
final.
15 they
Yeah.
in 15 they
They lost in the final.
Yeah.
In 2016,
Did they lose to Pittsburgh?
they lost to Pittsburgh
Yeah,
in Game
okay, in the
7, and they were up
conference
3-2.
Yeah.
And then the next year, they
Then
missed the
lost
playoffs. They
yeah.
missed the playoffs in 2017 because, remember, all their guys got hurt.
Oh my god!
And that was when
right.
that was when the Leafs kind of snuck in at the end there and made
I
the
totally
playoffs.
forgot about that. I'm just so used to them making the playoffs.
I know.
I don't really.
And then
listen to
obviously
these
last year
anyways.
again they're up 3-2, and then
Yeah.
they don't make it right. But they've still been up there, one of the most
Caps.
consistent
Yeah.
teams. Go Caps! What a guy! But yeah, no, I think Tampa needs depth. Personally, I think they need depth on
Yeah.
the blue line.
Really?
I think they could use another piece on the blue line.
Yeah.
Sergachev is still very raw. When I watch him
Yeah.
play, he's very like people want to rip the Habs on that trade, but right now. I'm saying this right now. Duran's looking like the better player right now.
The first
I'll say that.
The first year of the deal, though, Sergachev was killing it on that
Sergachev
power play.
was.
That was because Victor Hedman was injured.
Exactly, and he was just getting Kucherov
yeah.
feeding one-timers to him, right?
Yeah, literally.
But I think they look at defense. I think they look at a guy like Nick Jensen, who on Detroit, who very cheap deal. I would say Radko Gudas. They could maybe potentially bring him back, but at that cap hit, I don't think they'd be able to pay him because they got to dish out money to other guys too, right? Braden Point, right?
Yeah.
Next, let's move on now from Tampa Bay. Let's talk Calgary. What do you think they need?
Oh, Calgary is like spin chicklets. They say they're a wagon, and I think they are. Like they are so good. I don't really like the team
personally. I don't know.
I
don't think they will
good.
have success in the playoffs.
I don't think they'll have success either because the thing is they're going with like 2 goalies. So they got Mike Smith and David Riddick, and Riddick has been playing well, but when you're in the playoffs, you need that one guy.
Exactly,
and he needs to play consistently. If you can't have that consistency and you're switching goalies, it sends a bad message to your goaltenders. It really does.
It does.
It happened to the Canucks in 2015 when we made the playoffs and we played against Calgary.
Yeah.
We had Eddie Lack start the first 3 games, and then game 4 we said, oh, let's put Ryan Miller in, and we just won, and then Miller got hurt again.
So would you say
it messed up with the team, and then we lost the series. And I think having 2 goalies going into a playoff series doesn't help.
So would you say that their biggest need is goaltending?
I think like they're gonna think about it and say, "Oh, we're doing fine in the regular season. We'll do fine in the playoffs." But it would be, I think, the price to get a goalie is too high, and like historically, the last trade that was made for a starting goaltender was Ryan Miller to St. Louis.
Yeah,
When
that was
St.
mid-season, and
Louis
we saw how badly that worked out for the
St.
Blues.
Louis was unreal that year, and then when they traded for Ryan Miller,
I think Jake Allen might have even played games.
Jake Allen did go in after Chicago just lit Miller up, and they lit Jake Allen up too. But that's also because that was the year Chicago won the Stanley Cup.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. It's difficult to say. Actually, no, that wasn't the year they won a cup.
Who knows? Anyways, I think Calgary needs more scoring. I can't trust them going into the playoffs. I don't trust that Gaudreau, Monahan, Lindholm line. If that's the only line scoring, you're not going to have success. You never see teams with one line, dominating and scoring. I think they need a third line center, second line center. Maybe slot Backlund down in the lineup, or you need to add that top 6 forward.
Yeah,
I think
their center depth is unreal.
Jankowski. What is Jankowski though? Sam Bennett's been playing on the wing though.
Yeah, but like he can also play center.
He could. I don't know. I think that they need to add that guy for the playoffs if they want to have success. If they want to go against teams like Winnipeg, even San Jose. They lost to San Jose last night. Look at them with the guys they have. I think they need to add that offense.
Yeah.
Personally, but yeah. Let's shift focus to a team that I just mentioned, Winnipeg. What's their biggest need? They're loaded too. They're lethal. What do they need?
That's difficult because they got everything like the Predators.
They're loaded.
It's like these contending teams. Like it's like they're not really missing anything. There's like maybe that 1 or 2 teams that are missing something to like
put them over the edge.
But Winnipeg is like the West this year is so weird because it's like Winnipeg, Nashville,
and then everybody, and then you have San Jose, Vegas, Calgary, and then everybody else like
and
Minnesota,
everyone else
Colorado,
is just
Dallas.
like, oh my god, it's a mess.
Yeah,
but Nashville, I mean, I think you could get a depth defenseman.
Yeah, I agree.
A 7th defenseman,
a left shot guy kind of guy because they're loaded on the right side.
Someone who's quick on D, someone who's fast, who's got speed.
Yeah,
I like to see that because the Jets like speed. but like they have so much grit already.
They do. They are a very gritty team.
And I think just a depth forward too, we also have speed. Like that's really it.
Personally, I think Winnipeg needs to make a big move.
You think so?
I think they need to go for a number 2 center. I got family from Winnipeg. I've been to a Jets game. I've seen a lot of their games. I watched them in the playoffs.
Brian Little.
I don't think Brian Little can do it for me, and he's done great things for that franchise. Got drafted by the Thrashers.
Yeah.
Back in 07, and I don't see Brian Little being that guy on the second line. They need to go out and acquire that Paul Stastny type guy. I don't know. Maybe
Paul
that's
Stastny's like overrated.
But look how well he did in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Guy gets 3 points in Game 7 against Nashville. He was clutch.
Yeah,
the one problem with Paul Stastny was that he wasn't fast enough. And when Winnipeg played Vegas in the conference finals, speed took over, and you saw Vegas just dominate with their speed.
Yeah. Well, they did try to sign Paul Stastny in the summer.
They did. The problem is they knew they couldn't dish out Stastny too much money because you got Laine and Kyle Connor coming up. So personally, I think they need to get a second line center.
Someone with an expiring contract too.
Is that Braden Shen? I don't know. Is that maybe a Derek Brassard type guy who has the playoff experience?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe you fill in with a Derek Brassard who could be a bit cheaper in my opinion than Braden Shen will cost you. Braden Shen will cost the Jets at least a first round pick and maybe not a Christian Vesalainen, but a higher end prospect because Braden Shen's pretty good and he's controllable for a few more years too.
Well, I'm thinking like in the West, like those teams right now. What the trade deadline's coming up on the 25th.
25th.
Okay, 25th.
Yeah.
So that gives the teams about 12 days or so to figure out what the hell they're doing. Because the West right now is so confusing. Literally, I think the Kings are at 50 points.
The Kings are not far back.
Yeah.
I know they are not far back.
And they won the wild card spot.
And the Blackhawks won last night, so they picked up 2 points. So like, what is the NHL now these days?
Literally, for the last the wild card spot, it's a 5 point. It's a 5 point like margin between like.
Literally between the last team
in the Western Conference.
What amazes me though is Chicago is 2 points out of the playoffs.
2 points.
They went from being Jack Hughes, Capo Caco, Kirby Dack, Dylan Cousins, big draft guys, don't know the prospects. They were, very close to being in that draft lottery, and then they win a couple games, and now they're only 2 points back. So it's amazing to see what's going to happen. And look at Edmonton; they can't win.
People are mad and furious in Edmonton, but
they're so close.
You're only a win out of the playoffs.
Technically being in the playoffs.
Like
it's close.
I feel bad for Edmonton fans. Like trust me, I do, because like I thought they would be like kicking butt.
Me too.
Right now, especially
everybody thought,
because they've got Connor McDavid.
You got 97 and Draisaitl and Nugent Hopkins. You got that center depth.
And literally, you cannot win games.
Hasn't worked out.
You cannot beat the Canucks, which is honestly like we play all.
I feel like that's the standard. If you can't beat the Canucks, then you got to reassess your life, right? That's how every team should evaluate themselves.
I love them, but sometimes it's like some games I'll be like, "What are you doing?" And then other games I'll be like, "Wow,
that's fair."
Insane.
That's fair. All right, let's move on now. San Jose is another interesting team because they have a bunch of forwards, a couple defensemen.
Yeah.
What do they need? What's their biggest need?
They're line wingers.
Yeah, I agree. I think they need another forward.
Yannick Hansen did not do well for them.
Oh my god!
I couldn't believe how badly he played. Like he was so good in Vancouver, and when we traded him, I was heartbroken. But I was shocked at how badly he played in San Jose.
It did not work out.
Yeah, it didn't work out at all, and like. I think they just need to make that move again to win it because they need to win the cup.
They've got to win. They are
the Washington Capitals of the Western.
They are the one. Like, absolutely.
They continuously since like 2008 make the playoffs.
Now
and they've made it. They haven't made it in like certain seasons, but other than that, like
they missed in 2015.
Unreal, and they got manhandled by the Golden
Vegas.
Knights.
Well, the problem is, I think
so did LA. I thought LA was going to win.
Me too. I was convinced, but no, I think San Jose needs top six forward. I think you have Couture, Hurdle, and what is it, Joe Thornton there. I think that you got to add a top six forward. I think you need someone on that second line with a Hurdle or an Evander Kane.
Yeah.
But the problem is in San Jose, again, like Pittsburgh, they're starting to rake up the cap. You're paying Burns, you're paying Vlasic. Do you pay Erik Karlsson $11 million? They might. And then you look at guys like Couture and Kane that are making $7-8 million. Pavelski, Hurdle at 5-6. So they're starting
discounts.
Yeah, they're starting to pay their core guys a lot of money. So they're gonna have to figure out
what they need, and I think they need a top 6 forward. Maybe they get a guy like Matt Zuccarello from New York. You don't think so?
Would not work out in that system.
Just because he's speed.
It's because of speed. Like if you look at the Western Conference,
but they lost to Vegas because
and
of
a bit
speed.
of grit though. Zuccarello doesn't have that. Zuccarello plays in the Western Conference.
But look at Vegas,
especially against Vegas. Vegas, but Vegas is big. They got Ryan Reeves. They got Alex Tuck.
But then you have guys like Marcia So, Smith, Carlson.
Yeah, but like Zuccarello's past his prime, I think.
I think he might be past his prime, but I think he could be I think he could be a sneaky good addition.
He could be sneaky, but I don't know.
Maybe a Gustav Nyquist too, but the problem is
Nyquist or Jakob Silfverberg, I think.
I like Silfverberg because I think they could get him cheaper.
Fits, yeah.
I think Nyquist, the problem is they'd have to give up a first, but they don't know what picks they like Tampa Bay
second and a pick.
But Brian Boyle went for a second. I think Nyquist has to go for a first. Ryan Hartman went for a first. You might have to pay him, man. You might have to. The problem is like Tampa Bay, they don't know what picks they have because they're conditioned, right?
Yeah, that's so true.
I hope they wouldn't trade Eric Kostin to an Eastern Conference or an Atlantic Division team because otherwise they auto their first round pick.
Yeah,
you got to Mike Hoffman proof the trade, right? But yeah, no, I definitely think top 6 forward for them.
Man,
Next.
Imagine if San Jose kept Mike Hoffman though. Oh my God, he has been killing it in Florida this year. And if they had kept him in San Jose,
I know why they didn't keep him because they traded for Eric Carlson.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, let's move on. Let's talk about a team that I think is the biggest surprise in the NHL season. No offense to some other teams that have improved, but let's talk about the New York Islanders. What do they need?
Man,
it's tough.
That's tough because they're playing really well and they have speed.
You don't want to mess up what they have, but you also want to add something because I think they
top
need
6 forward.
I agree. Someone to play second line left wing maybe.
I'd love to see Simmons there.
Yeah,
I think Simmons would be a good fit under Barry Trotz. Coach loves hardworking guys, big guys. Yeah, he plays like Tom Wilson in New York and
that would be big.
The Islanders. Mm-hmm. Simmons can't play like him.
Yeah,
he's like the OG of that play style too.
He's pretty good. I think he fits in their style perfectly because I think they need a big physical guy.
I think Simmons would be great.
Now here's a question for you. Do you think the Islanders can make a run at Artemi Panarin? Because think about it, they have the draft capital.
Yeah.
They have the prospect. They had 2 first round picks last year. They took Oliver Wahlstrom and Noah Dobson 11 and 12, right? So
great picks,
great Bodie Wild, unbelievable pick.
Bodie Wild.
I'm a big fan of Wild, but
he's got a lot of issues.
But he's starting to turn him around though. But so you start adding up the prospects. I could see the Islanders being a team that makes a move because Panarin said he wants to play in New York. I mean, it might not be with the Rangers. Is it with the Rangers? Maybe I'm just throwing it out there. Maybe the Islanders make an offer for him because you don't know if you're going to get Anders Lee back. You don't know what's going to happen to these guys, Jordan Eberle. So I think, do they trade for him? I don't know. But personally, I think they need a top 6 forward. Maybe again a guy like a Gustav Nyquist could fit in well. Someone that can score, someone with more speed. Can. I'd
love to see Simmons in there. I think he fits the best. Simmons either in New York with the
New York
Islanders,
or Nashville.
Or Nashville would be great.
Yeah,
I think that would be fair.
So we already talked about Nashville and what they need. We both kind of said more depth and top 6 forward maybe.
Simmons. Now, Dave Pauly, get Simmons.
Get Simmons. Let's talk about my Leafs now. Toronto, what do they need? What do they need?
They got Muzzin, and I think that was a really steal of a trade.
Yeah.
But they still need defense.
I think they could.
I do not care what other Leafs fans say to me when they're like, "Oh, Zinneganoff's okay, Zaitsev's okay." No, they don't have any defensive accountability. Like I'll watch games with my roommate, and Zaitsev and Zinneganoff will be on the ice, and they look out of place half the time. Can you agree with me on that?
Yep.
Yeah.
He does. Zaitsev and Gardner. That's the problem with that team.
Ron Hainsey is good. I'm surprised that he's good.
No, he's been doing well.
Age. Yeah.
Now Hainsey, like I said in the last podcast, Hainsey gets slotted down.
Yeah.
Gets to play a few less minutes. Except he played most minutes of all the D yesterday. Last game. I was like, what are you doing, Babcock? Let the guy rest. But yeah, no.
They really need to trade.
I think they could use another right shot D, like a depth guy.
You know
maybe.
What I'd love to see them do. I know this sounds crazy.
Let's hear it.
Chicago is shipping Brent Seabrook right now.
No, do not mention Brent Seabrook to the Leafs.
Hold up.
I don't care if they retain salary.
Eat up half of his salary.
No, just stop.
Dude, he's
just
won
stop.
2 Stanley.
I don't
3 Stanley Cups.
He has one. He won't be able to do that anymore. I don't think that could work just because of their cap situation.
He played well last night. I watched him play.
I don't think that the Leafs should.
He's got something to prove. But I'm just saying. I don't know.
All right.
He's got a no trade clause, so he can just say fuck, screw that. But
yeah.
I'm just saying, if the Leafs want to make their defense good and teach their defenders from a Stanley Cup champion, even though Muzzins won the cup.
Yeah.
A guy like Seabrook would be good.
Personally, I think they need a fourth line center.
Or that's
I think and to me Brian Boyle was that perfect guy.
They need
I don't know who they could go after now. Brian Boyle just seemed like that perfect fit to me for guys that they could acquire.
Toronto also needs grit though. If you guys face the Boston Bruins in the first round again, I don't think you beat them.
I think we do based on the fact that we got Tavares.
You guys,
and Boston hasn't done anything.
Boston is so good.
They are nasty.
They are nasty.
They're for the one-line team though.
Their goaltending not doing well lately, but they are so good. They are big in body.
Yeah.
That's what makes them so much different in the East, because not a lot of Eastern teams are big in body. The Capitals maybe fall behind them in that category.
But big in body. Boston got manhandled by Tampa Bay in the second round.
They get manhandled by Tampa Bay, but that was because they were kind of still rebuilding. People thought they were going to rebuild that year.
Let's talk about Boston's needs. What do they need?
I think gosh, that's hard.
For me, there's a position that sticks out.
Look, I don't like the Bruins either, but I think they're so good. They're nasty. They got good depth. I think they trade for a couple fast guys.
I think they need a top 6 forward. I think they need someone either a winger or another center, because David Krejci's good, but I think when it comes to the playoffs, you got to match up with the likes of Pittsburgh. You got to match up with Tampa Bay. I think if you slot Krejci down or maybe get another third line center, Derek Brassard type guy to come in. Derek Brassard could fit in well. The experience. I don't think that Boston has enough right now to win. I think they could use another center personally, maybe a forward. I think their D is fine personally. I think it's good enough. Is Rask gonna compete though? Who knows?
Yeah, that's a huge question mark. Rask and Halak, they've been sharing the net this year because Rask went through some personal issues.
Yeah, he was going through some stuff.
He also went through some injuries, and he didn't look 100%, but now he's looking pretty good.
Yeah,
he played really well against the Capitals the other day.
He's looking pretty good.
And I thought, wow. Hey,
good for him.
If you play like that in playoffs, they're going far. But
now, one of the other surprises for me this year has been Montreal. I mean, I don't know about you, but I know, me too, as a Leafs fan. But you know what? They have surprised people, and when you think about it, they have that depth now at center. They've got some decent defense, but to me, what sticks out is the left side of their defense. Yeah. Now, I was talking to one of my buddies who's a diehard Habs fan, huge fan, has been for a long time, and I told him that before the Leafs got Jake Muzzin, I said Habs should acquire Jake Muzzin. I think perfect team need for them would have been Jake Muzzin. I think Jake Muzzin fits on the Habs more than the Leafs. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the Canadians, they shocked me. They're
Carey Price is back
really well. Yeah, Price is 100% back. I do worry about him though.
Me too, because of the injuries. I do too. And Montreal, 2 years ago, people forget, they won the division, and then what happens in the playoffs? They can't score goals. So I fear that's what happens with them again. I'd love to see a Toronto-Montreal first round. Nothing would make me happier. That would be an incredible.
Toronto would just smother them.
It would be. It would definitely. But the NHL now is anyone can win. The Leafs, when they barely made the playoffs, played Washington. It was the Hall and Mighty, the Holy Grail, the Capitals, and they almost won.
Well, I think the thing that's making Montreal so good is that they actually let their younger players jump in and play.
Kotkaniemi is getting minutes.
This is the problem with teams these days that say they want to win, but they don't. They have all these prospects, but they don't play them.
You got to give them time.
You need to give these players time to play. It's like what Don Cherry says. He's play the younger guys. Let them learn their mistakes.
You have to.
Then let them flourish after that, so they don't do it again.
I think Montreal's a team that benefits because when you add Kotkaniemi in there,
as a team that's projected to not do so well, and you don't know where guys are going to slot in, I think it's a benefit to guys like Kotkaniemi and even Domi. I mean, like, they basically
of Elias Pettersson.
Oh yeah. Elias Pettersson is pretty good. I will not
let's
lie.
keep talking about Canadians.
Let's keep
But I mean, like, you look at Philip Deneau, like former first
26 pick.
Yeah, 26. But now he's their first line center.
He's their shutdown guy. He's their
shutdown
guy. If I'm the Habs and
I'm shocked that he's playing well.
Me too, man. But if I'm Montreal playing Pittsburgh in the playoffs, for example, just spitballing, throwing it out there.
Yeah.
And I need someone to shut down Sidney Crosby. I go to Philip Deneau before anybody else.
Yeah.
Because that is just like his. He's
been playing well. I don't think he can shut down Crosby any of the players in the Eastern Conference centerman wise. Mm-hmm. I don't think he can.
But he's been doing well. And I'm not huge into the analytics, but I've been looking more into them recently. And analytically, Deneau has been a monster. He's been he's been driving play without being a liability on the defensive end. But yeah, Montreal definitely. I think we can both agree that left side of the defense needs some work if they want to compete.
Oh, they definitely do. But I don't think they want to trade.
No,
like. They sent down Alzner earlier this year because he wasn't playing well, but I think he's a great defenseman.
You think Alzner's a good defenseman?
Okay, the thing is,
I don't know, man. He was pretty bad.
I think defensemen. There's some good defensemen, but
I'll give you 5 seconds to take back that statement.
Hold up, let me explain myself first.
All right.
I think there's good defensemen on certain teams, and their value goes up, like when Eric Goodbranson was with the Florida Panthers.
Yeah.
And then the Canucks traded for him, and he's terrible. I do not like the contract he has.
Who?
Eric Goodbranson.
Oh, yeah.
Or Alzner.
Brutal contract.
These guys play so well on their teams because they fit their schemes, and then they sign the biggest contract they can get. No, it's true.
Yeah.
Like, Alzner signed, like $5 million or something?
4.625.
Yeah, that's still a lot of money for a defenseman.
That's a ton.
And Alzner played well in the system of the Capitals because he played with John Carlson.
But the problem is now a guy like Alzner, who's guy blocks a lot of shots and he's very defensive, and again he's taken logged a lot of minutes over the years, so it wears guys down after a long time. So when they signed Carl Alzner, it affected him, and I think I
agree, he's not good. But I'm just saying, like, he plays well.
He was a good defense. Yeah, I'll give you that. He was back in the day.
Like, all these defensemen play well in certain schemes, but they play terribly once they don't play in their scheme. Yeah. It's like Eric Goodbranson, man. That guy cannot play. Like, it's mind-boggling how he's getting minutes. Or like,
I ask that question with Nikita Zaitsev every day.
Yeah, it's like, how is this guy playing? What does the coach like about this guy? Yeah, Zaitsev's offensive, but that's the only skill he's got.
Zaitsev is barely offensive. People are like, Zaitsev got 36 points his first year. You know what? You know why Zaitsev got 36 points his first year?
Because
you know why?
Why?
Because he was feeding Mitch Marner on the power play. It was the amount of secondary assists he got from Marner doing his thing, whoop-de-doo around the ice. That's why Zaitsev got so many points. Yeah. And it's showing now. Look at Riley. Look at all these guys that are just, racking up assists playing with Marner on the power play.
Yeah, but Riley's amazing. Yeah. He's so talented. I remember when they drafted him.
Me too. I was pumped.
Man, like, he's good.
Riley's dad's a huge Leafs fan.
Yeah,
it was so funny.
It's shocking because he's from West Vancouver. The Rileys are from West Vancouver, and the Reinhardts are from West Vancouver.
There you go.
I've met some of the Reinhardt boys.
Oh, right on.
And they're two of them aren't good, Max and
Griffin,
but
Sam's pretty nice. Sam is nice.
Playing pretty well.
Let's talk about our final team, the Vancouver Canucks. No, I'm just kidding. I don't think they can compete just yet. Let's talk about Pittsburgh. They did already make the trade, but are they done? Is Jimmy Rutherford done making trades? Is he satisfied with the team, with the roster he has right now?
I think he's done.
You think he's done?
Yeah, I think he makes these trades early on and before the trade deadline, and because he wants to see how the team molds. He got Jamie Olesiak back. Right.
They traded him away.
What? Oh, they traded him away.
Oh. They traded Jamie Alexei. They acquired Jamie Alexei from Dallas for a 4th-round pick last year. This year, they traded I swear to God, the exact same 4th-round pick back. The same pick.
I totally got that wrong.
It was hilarious.
I am tired. I do not wake up at 9 a.m.
Oh my God. But that's my excuse for honestly, like I think when people look at Pittsburgh's roster right now, I think they could use another depth D. I mean, they do have Justin Schultz coming back, but I think if they get, that right-sided defenseman, I think they can. I think that'll benefit them. So yeah, this is it for the second episode of On the Pond. Thank you, Andrew, for
for stopping by and sharing your thoughts. Really appreciate
Thanks
it.
for having me.
We'll do it again. Absolutely. All right. Thank you everyone for listening. Please subscribe. And this is On the Pond.